Hello and welcome back, everybody.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do.
And welcome back to another video of Tales of Arise. Last time we were playing, we were running around. We got to Lenegis and found out some stuff. We're talking to some citizens, and we just found out about found the potential entrance for the Forbidden Zone, as well as knowing that Dohalim is a very well-known person on Lenegis. So now we're going to be checking out what's going on and continuing on in the story to see what we can do to help Lenegis. Without further ado, game on.
I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renin homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
Also, if you like what you see, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me what you thought.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renin society is quite strict about such matters.
We also learned about the Renin and Danon hierarchy.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Cannibelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renins in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
I agree with Alpin, it does feel a little weird.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals?
So eloquent, Dohalim.
Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis.
I'm sure they do.
And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
Should be. Big keyword there. Alright, let's see what's up. Talk to the people who support the lords. Okay. No. Balsa. If I had a last name like that, I would change it too.
Yes! Yes!
Yeah,
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
that's new.
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
Doesn't surprise me. Alright, let's talk to this one. AIDS? Yeah. Akaris is his last name, or the house he belongs to. Kind of like in Hogwarts, but you're not assigned that house. You're born into it. Anyway, here we go. Yeah.
Hmm?
She's crazy.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
Nope.
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Sadly.
Unquestioning
We
acceptance
do.
of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danon city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
Nope.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Right. Looks like the next one is right here.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And
What
what
skill?
skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
Yes.
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Goof. Valkyries, huh? Ganabelt?
What?
Sure do. As to our brothers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ganabelt was so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
No,
I'm
bit.
perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
Couldn't tell you. We need to find some more people.
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
Yep.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. You don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
But I want to know how...
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
Nope.
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration, to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Yep, a little bit.
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
Indeed. Alright, I think we need to find a few more people to talk to about this. Because, someone has some serious planning to do. Oh good, there are two more right there.
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed. The effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Pardon me.
Lord Almandria, huh?
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is messed up, but sometimes humans will stoop to whatever they need to be able to survive. Which is a sad existence in itself.
Ridiculous. Okay. Ah!
This is Florida of Boulder. There.
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganeth Haros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
Nope.
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
Right.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive.
Makes sense.
But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what
Amen.
makes them the guardians of all of Renna, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same
Humans
time,
just like we were.
they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
Cut them some
You're
slack.
saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters.
So they were raised.
Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Nope.
Not at all.
In fact,
Being a
you
Danon
couldn't
doesn't
be
make you
more
a
right.
good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Yep.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
It's really important to see people for what they are. Race is irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. And to put somebody in a box and say just because your great-great-great-great-grandfather was blah, 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 they did horrible, blah, blah, blah.
There's something I just don't get.
What is
It's
it?
just terrible.
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Renna should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
Where is he?
who was it then?
Hanfrikt Milgras, the former Lord of Cyslodia, if memory serves.
So then this Han-freaked whatchamacallem is the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
I was gonna say, where'd he
You're
go?
saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
Yep.
I guess over Holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the Sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
Russia?
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
Maybe a little bit.
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest. meaning each victor is awarded their very own.
Stop
In other
speaking
words,
in
if
riddles.
that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelegion, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
Believe in burgers. They're amazing.
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Anyway, like I was saying, that is just super, super mean to be able to say that, you know, your great-great-great-great-grandfather was X,
Joe?
therefore, because he was that way.
Varia.
Varia?
It's not
Isn't that
even-
the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait,
cool
don't
to
tell
do.
me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already.
No. Trying to save it.
Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
Tarnigan?
I'm here to take care of something.
Who?
If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit.
What are you talking about?
But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
Ouch.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
They have bad blood, turns out.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else.
Ow.
You're just a coward!
Them be fighting words. Mind control?
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Here we go. This is the part I was the most excited
Before,
for.
back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
Mm-hmm.
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
I do too.
Dohalim.
I have questions need answering.
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
You have some explaining to do, man. I'm confused. Anyway, meant to say this again, but I kept getting interrupted by cutscenes. But it's not cool to put somebody in a box even though their great-great-grandfather was a different race, and it's a preconceived notion that just because so-and-so is of the same race that they're going to be doing this exact same thing. That's just, no. Person's a person, and they can't, and the person living now can't atone for his or her past his or her grandparents' mistakes. That's just me. You're right. Let's go. I'm walking in the park. You know. Not a very happy one at that, but so.
Hey, didn't we find a recipe that...
Yeah, we can use this for it.
Alright. On we go.
Wow, this place is beautiful.
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Yep.
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
Yep.
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed.
What?
Despite Faria's lower class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
Sure are.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
Music
I would
brings
have,
everyone together.
once. Now,
Regardless.
I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing.
Of barriers.
Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
Wow.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait. Don't tell me she doesn't know.
Nope.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's
Makes
not the
sense.
same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
Clearly, we just saw it.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Doesn't matter.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
As a hero, you can't
Frank
save
as
everybody.
always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
That's the problem with being a hero. You think for the ones you do save, and you're gonna make enemies along the way. Regardless of how good of a hero you are.
Do you
Case in
think he'll
point,
be all right?
Dohalim Valkyris.
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes it's more difficult than you
Sometimes
imagine.
just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I
All we
hope you're
can do
right.
sometimes as human beings. Who's that dude?
Alphen,
Yeah?
Yep.
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
We do
Maybe,
that a lot.
but I still wanted to say thank you.
We
I
don't
see a
really-
medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
We don't know the type of good we will do until we actually do something. I want this one right there. Just make sure I get enough. Nope. Okay, nothing there.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Of course we have. Alright.
Did we really just spend that much money?
Yep. Alright, on we go.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we
man.
can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, I was born ready. Let's go, fool.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Oh! I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menencia. I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
Take this!
Here I come!
Raging storm! Forward by the storm! Where are you going?
Hurricane fire!
Listen.
Blow them away!
Boom.
I'm not done! It's almost too strong! Be my guest!
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter because I got a weapon.
I'm not done! You're mine!
Now, corruption! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Boom!
Not here!
Pierce evil!
No escape! Release!
Take
this!
I can
Carve through armor! My shield! Swallow blade! This one's all mine! Here I go! We're not finished! Ignite!
You shouldn't have messed with me.
Here I come! No escape!
In here! Eat dirt!
Take it!
I'll bring you down!
Soaring Alpha!
I win.
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries.
Indeed.
At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Alright. Okay, here is where I will... Nope, not here. Here is where I think I will stop this video. Thanks for watching this video of Tales of Arise. Next time we play, we will be continuing on to try and find the Forbidden Zone. And I think it's right over here, so we'll be making our way over here and seeing what's up to continue on with the story. Until then, this has been Lion of Hyrule, playing Tales of Arise, and I will see you on the flip side. Peace.